Hi, fellow lights and light travelers. Thank you again for being here. So normally when I do my readings afterwards, I sit and think of a title, just see what energy is coming through, so what title it wants to be named. But this felt very straightforward. Spirit said what Spirit wanted to say. So I'm going to leave this just as a message from Spirit. So I hope you enjoy. See you again next week. Bye. While you're here, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Enjoy your reading. Hello, fellow lights and light travelers. Welcome again once more to Light Journeys Tarot. I appreciate your being here with me, connecting your energy with me. As always, your being here, your subscribing, your support, it means the world, so I appreciate it. I've gone ahead and set up everything. I've called in my high vibrational guides. I bring forth messages only for the highest good of all. Please take what resonates, leave the rest. As always, please do always read the description for the video, as I have more information for you all listed there. And as I like to always caveat, myself or anyone who reads, right, and I'll speak for myself in this case, I tap into current energies. Life is fluid. Everything is fluid, okay? You yourself have the power. Use this as educational, as, you know, information that's being received, and then from there you want to be discerning and take what resonates, leave the rest, and make your own decisions leading from your heart, okay? Always lead from your heart for the highest good from yourself and others, and you'll be led the right way on your journey in life. All right, so I wanted to tap in today. My heart was actually pulling me. It said to use this deck, so we want to see what message is coming through from Spirit, and let's go ahead and get into it. I'm using the 5th Spirit Tarot. Let's see what Spirit has to say. All right. All right, Spirit, what message is wanting to come through today for the collective? What message is wanting to come forth for this collective? Whenever they come upon this video, what messages want to come through for those that are listening and watching? All right, trusting the stop. 10 of Pentacles, wonderful. The Empress. And the Wheel of Fortune. Oh, beautiful. Let me put that right here. All right, let's get into it. With the 10 of Pentacles, it's a card that speaks to family, home, abundance. This could be abundance in finances, security. This could be, because it's Pentacles, right? I also like to feel in like an abundance of love, but this also really leans into that security of that family, that home. So, right, past, present, future. This is, you have either built this up through all your hard labors, or you could be, you know, lucky enough that this is something that has been passed down through to you, this security, or you have worked to build it. So it's something that you can eventually pass on, the security of having a home. And I feel like in today, speaking of, you know, from, right, I can speak from the experience that I have, right? So my lived experience, the country I live in, depending on your social, right, background, oftentimes it affects whether or not you can be able to, you know, get something stable like a home. So, you know, this coming through is you having stability at home. Maybe it's a physical house, you know, maybe it's an apartment where you live. Regardless, this feels like security. This feels like home. This feels like you have built something that can be passed on, that is yours, that has been created, that you have built. And what I'm hearing is brick by brick. You have built a home brick by brick. So while I want to say this could be physical, this could also be, in my opinion, you know, an analogy. You have built, you know, your structures, you have built your home, you have built your fortress brick by brick. Let's see what pulls me in. I'm actually drawn to this, and I know that's not strawberries, but I'm hearing like it looks like strawberries to me. So why strawberries? I don't know. Where could we go with that? It looks like here there's a sunflower that needs a little bit of sunning. So I don't know if it's out of season, or perhaps in this being built, you want to bring more joy and more light into what you've built. Maybe that's just something like a little caveat, FYI, make sure you're still bringing in the sun, make sure you're still, you know, tending to the little things, you know, try not to miss, you know, the little things that come through. You know, you've built what's left to what has been made to last, but you also want to make sure that you're still bringing in that light and that joy, the little details, the little things. So you've built the home, you've created the abundance, you've created the security within your family. But, you know, make sure that you just don't forget in all this work that you've done brick by brick, and also give yourself grace and pat yourself on the back. But just to be mindful of little things, stop and smell the flowers, water things, tend to things. But overall, this is very healthy. This is very nice going through. I don't know what strawberries is. This could be, I don't know why it drew my eyes, and it looks like strawberries to me, although like I know that's not how it would grow. What could be strawberries? You know what? I'm going to leave that. Not everything, you know, strawberries could be so wide. It could be a favorite food that you enjoyed. It could be a memory. It could be a scent of strawberries. You know, I think of like when you're little, maybe for like kids from like the 80s or whatnot, like you think of like strawberry shortcake. So like there's that nostalgia there. There could be, you know, literal strawberries, like an actual strawberry shortcake, like a dessert, or, you know, having strawberries with whipped cream and stuff. So maybe there's a little bit of that in this house. There's a nostalgia that you bring into it and that you're leaving and passing forth, but also like the sweet memories of, you know, bringing in the light, watering the flowers, tasting the fresh, ripe strawberries, smelling them, you know, those little moments of savoring and, you know, planting and nurturing. So it's all a beautiful picture that comes in, and it's, you know, well lit inside. So this feels like this is a loved home. This is a wonderful, there's a fire going, right? We've got the chimney going. So this that you have built is abundant, is stable, is good. So congratulations. That's amazing. That's beautiful. And because there's a lot of green, I want to say this is very heart-centered. So even though it's pentacles and it's abundance and it's like a physical security of a house, it feels like it was made from a lot of love, and it is filled with a lot of love. Excuse me. All right, beautiful. So that's your past. Awesome. Let's move into the next card. I also want to say, like with that thing with the strawberries, because for me, it's like I kind of dipped into it. When I read, always trust your intuition, trust your gut, right? Trust what messages are for you, and, you know, what resonates, leave the rest. But also, you know, if something clicks, you know, trust your heart. Always, when working with your intuition, and right, this is an invitation, right? This is a co-creation. I'm feeling energy, so I'm reading it. So it's like your energy is connecting. And this isn't about time. Oh my gosh, excuse me, my voice today. Time is not linear the way we know it. How it works, right? Like, I know that all of this is bigger and greater than me. In this reality, right, in the material world, we say it's, you know, sequential and it works like this. But, you know, trust, lead from your heart, don't lead from fear base. And, you know that like the messages will come through to you as they're meant to. Like maybe it'll be like something from the future, like something with strawberries, or perhaps it is something from your past that's coming through. Just trust. And also, if it's not meant, just put it aside. It's all good, right? Trust the universe will get you messages as you're meant to get messages. And, you know, this is a big collective. So just wanted to put that out there as we all work and, you know, trust our intuition and work together and get into that flow with one another, right? Someone mentioned, and I'll get to the next card, I just wanted to share, I was watching, I think her name was Ann Tucker, and she was speaking about how in this experience, you know, we're kind of like a flock of birds, right? So we're experiencing it individually, but if you see birds, right, and I hope that you've been a witness to it. If not, I'm sure you can like look it up. When birds fly in formation and then they all kind of move and shift and none of them hit each other, there's this perfect equilibrium of independence, but like flowing together and connecting and flowing. So that's what these things are. That's what readings are. That's what we are all coming more into the knowledge of, right? As we build our intuition, as we ground ourselves, as we learn to balance our logical and our intuitive sides, right? And we learn to move through this world independently, but at a higher vibration because we're affecting the other people, and we want to eventually get into a cohesive flow where we're all individuals, but we're working together and flowing together. So all right, that came out. We wanted to share that. All right, let's get into the next card. The Empress is a very nurturing card. I feel like it is that embodiment, right, of trusting, of intuition, right? And there's a few cards that come across like that for you. There's a lot of nurturing. There's a strong, I want to say almost like goddess-like energy. You are the Empress, you come upon the scene. So let's see, you have built a house and home, and you have built it brick by brick, and you have left a foundation. I want to bring through the fact that this is also a connection to the earth. So this is, okay, so two things. One, I was being drawn to the strawberries in the sun. This is calling you in the present. What I heard is fruits of your labor, okay? And the fact that I was being pulled to the strawberries, or what I, you know, it's not strawberries, but what look like strawberries, right? It's like flagging in my brain. And the sunflower, right, that needed a little nurturing. This is that connection to earth, to the land. This particular card is a bit androgynous. And I also want to say, what's the word? Expressing oneself and one's nature and nurturing in a way that is new, that is outside of the box. You know, this particular character, this deck is an inclusive deck. So this particular person is transgender. So for me, what feels like it's coming through, and I feel like I need to speak to it, is the fluidity of expression, the beauty of connecting to nature and the fruits of your labor and how you express yourself and how you receive nurture and how you give nurture in a way that is special and unique to yourself. But there's this grace with it. There's this comfort with this. There's this authenticity in this, right? So it feels like this collective you've built and you've created this secure home and this hearth. And this is calling you in this current, you know, moment to be in receiving of the fruits of your nature and in a flow state, in a nurturing state, in an authentic, connected to earth, connected to your intuition, connected in a way that may, you know, I feel like it's becoming more, you know, expressing yourself in your truest heart sense, right? As long as it doesn't hurt any others and it's for the highest good of yourself and all, is becoming hopefully more common. I feel like it's becoming more common. So this is an invitation into that authentic self, that fruit of your labor, that enjoying it, that nurturing, that connecting to the earth, to yourself, to grounding. It feels both grounding and intuitive. It feels both grounding and intuitive, right? The pomegranates, that's like a lot of wisdom. We've got the hay. I know that, yeah, and like reaping what you sow. I feel like it's the fruits of your labor, harvesting what you've created. This is, you've worked so hard and you created this, and you've built such a beautiful, legacy that you can leave. And now it kind of feels like being called into yourself. Like, be secure in the knowledge that the universe sees you, and it's inviting you to express yourself in your most authentic form and to enjoy what you've built, right? Like, we aren't here to toil and then die. It's not work, 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 I died. We're meant to live. We're meant to, and I know it's sometimes easier said than done. It's often easier said than done with the way this world currently functions. Is just work, work, work. And then when you're not working, you got to do that. And when you're not doing that, blah, blah, blah. And it can be stressful. And it's hard. But this is an invitation from the universe that's saying, carve time for yourself, nurture yourself, like, you're harvesting what you've put in. You're being invited to enjoy the fruits of your labor. You're being invited to be authentic and to live and to receive and to give nurture. This is such a beautiful, grounded but intuitive, loving, nurturing energy that's coming forth. So like, what a beautiful invitation. Like, be your authentic self. Know that you've built wonderful things. Express yourself, receive and give love in whatever beautiful, unique way you choose to, as long as it's from your highest good and for the highest good, right? That's beautiful. And I'm also drawn to the crown here, so it feels like a connection to the crown. I'm smelling something floral. That's interesting. I don't know if it's one of my candles, but I don't normally get hit with that smell. So, yeah, I want to say maybe stop and smell the flowers. I wish I was like good with smells, and I was like, that was blah, 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 blah. So I could say it was some type of flower and maybe that would connect. But, yeah, stop and smell the flowers. Know that you yourself are beautiful and unique like a flower, right? So yeah, beautiful. So that's your current energy. I love it. Loving this reading so far. Love it, love it, love it. All right, cool. So your future. Past, present, future. This shows that I'm smelling the flowers again. It's really hitting me. It's funny because I don't normally get that smell that strong. Okay, well. All right. So cycles change and they will go through time and they will go through seasons. You are being guided, right? This is, for me, what this feels like is coming through is that your future is not written in stone, but to trust. For me, normally, this woman who is blinded, right? You could say the fates and whatnot. But I also think of the Justice card, right? Justice, and she's got the blindfold on and she's weighing the things. At this point, she's at the helm, right? So this for me is coming through like that. There is I want to say blind trust, but I also want to say closing your eyes and feeling into the changes. So as things change, as they always will, right? There are seasons in this world. It is like spring, and then it becomes summer really hot, and then you get fall, and you get winter, right? It just, even the earth itself goes through changes. We ourselves, as we, go from childhood to, young adulthood to, middle age to, our elder years, right? There are seasons of life. So this changing, this flow, this dynamic, these cycles, this is just something that's natural. And this feels like an invitation as these things change in your life, as the cycles go, trust navigating them, trust that you have what it takes to navigate it, and you don't have to fear it. I almost want to say, in those moments when you're feeling anxious about what's to come, closing your eyes, taking a slow, deep breath, right? And then trusting your intuition. Pray, meditate, whatever works for you, going for a walk in nature, journaling, right? Having that moment of silence for yourself and just connecting. And no, maybe the answer will come to you in that moment. Maybe it'll come to you in a couple of days, right? It's scheduling times of stillness to center and to like put that message out to the universe, right? Put that intention out to the universe to trust, okay? This that I'm going through is very heavy. You know, I set the intention, please support me in this. No matter what happens, I know I'll get through it, right? Taking that moment, breathing, not reacting from a place of fear. So as things change, you know, you're invited to trust. And I feel like with this current way that we live this life experience, a lot of the trust those outside of yourself. Go to that person if you want answers. Go to this person if you want answers. This is an invitation, right? To center back to you, to trust. You can reach out to the universe. The universe is always there for you. Angels, guides, however it is that you connect, your ancestors, right? They are there for you, full stop. So send that out, but also trust that you have the answers because, right, we are all energy. We are all connected in this grid of life. So where one person might say, oh, I'm better than you or this or that, right? Don't listen to those falsehoods. Like, you are just as important as the next person, right? The bee is just as important as the flower is just as important as the bird is, right? It's that flow, it's that cohesion, like trust that each one of you has a beautiful impact in this life. So it's important and you can connect to that grid, right? We have that sense, right? It's not just the birds that are able to connect because when you go out and you maybe pick up on someone's energy and you're like, oh, I can tell that that person's like, yeah, because your energy is picking up on their energy, right? You have that ability. We have these abilities. It is a natural thing for us, right? So this is an invitation in your future to connect back in, to trust yourself, to get back into the practice of trust and the flow as things change and as they cycle. Like, just know it's going to be okay. Even if there's rough patches, there'll be sun again, right? If there's fire, things will get put out. You know, the fire will then help, you know, take things out that don't need to be there, or they'll spark creativity, right? The wind will take those, you know, thoughts and either blow them away or bring a wonderful thought to you, right? It's that perspective, it's that flow that you're being invited into. Like, how are you going to look at things? How are you choosing to flow through in this new turning chapter in your future? And it's going to continue to turn, and that's okay. Just know that you are cradled by life, you are nurtured by life, you are being invited to be your authentic self, to know that you've built, and to know that whatever change is coming in the future, it's okay, and all is going to be okay. Beautiful. All right. Let's get some oracle cards to see if there's anything else that wants to come through. All right. The first deck that I was called to, oracle deck, is Angelic Activation. So let's see what message wants to come through. All right, Spirit, what message would like to come through from this deck for this reading for the collective? What messages want to come through? It's like a stickier shuffle. These cards are a little stuck. It's okay. Okay, I'm going to trust this one. I actually, like, it fell off. Okay, so this is Journeys LLC. Call back your power. Beautiful. I love it. Forgiveness is about no longer allowing someone or something to affect your state of happiness. It doesn't mean that you have to forget the past or avoid a situation entirely. Right now, you're being encouraged to take your power, your light, and your capacity to make a decision back into your own hands. By taking back what is yours, you also command respect from those around you. Activation. I forgive the past, and I give myself the respect I deserve. Thank you, Archangel Jeremiah. This is beautiful. Where do I want to put this? I feel like this goes right here. I feel like this is this Empress. I feel like this is calling your energy back. I feel like this is nurturing yourself, respecting yourself, loving yourself, living your authentic true self, nurturing yourself, healing yourself, seeing all the things that you've created, and in that loving and respecting yourself 100%. I don't know if I should leave it like this or like this. It's kind of beautiful. It's like both these characters look a little bit androgynous. It's beautiful. And what I'm drawn to here is like holding the power of your own light. Trust your own light. You know what? I'll put it like this. Maybe we'll go like this and like this for right now. Yeah, that feels like it fits there. I just feel like if I put it too low, it can't be seen. We'll do like that. Okay, perfect. All right, and the other deck I was drawn to is the Empath's Oracle. So let's see what message wants to come through. All right, Spirit. What else would like to come through for this collective? It's so funny. The last deck was very sticky, and this deck is like very smooth. I'm getting complete opposites. So funny. That's interesting. I don't know if there's anything to that. Sticky and smooth. Juxtaposition, duality. Coming together, learning harmony of the opposites. Where there's balance, where there's a middle, where there's gray, where there's a whole unique different path. Yeah. All right, let's see what other message wants to come through. Okay, trusting the stop, meditating and reflecting. Beautiful. Oh, this is gorgeous. Okay, so I'm seeing two things. One, I don't know if it's an eagle or a phoenix. There's a myriad of colors, so I feel like in this meditation and reflecting, before we even read it, this is like calling into the prismatic, gorgeous, vibrant colors that is you, all the chakras activating, you know, your being, your authentic true self, shining in all your prismatic beauty, kind of like this. I want to say two things. One, right, it could be a phoenix rising from the ashes, but it could also be like the strength and the higher perspective of the eagle or a falcon, right, is what I'm seeing right in here. So yeah, this is gorgeous. And this almost seems like, I feel like, again, this is like getting back to the roots, because I'm feeling like this is like, to me, it looks futuristic and yet indigenous, like in the past. It looks like past and future combining in the present. Like this almost looks like a headdress. So this is gorgeous. Maybe getting back to the roots of who you are, or finally expressing yourself in a new way, in your truest self, in your prismatic light, and then moving that into the future. This is this new, awakened, beautiful, prismatic version of yourself. Oh, it's gorgeous. Okay, let's go ahead and read Meditating and Reflecting. Let me pull it up. Let me put this down for a second. Okay, and it says, essential themes, taking a step back from the daily grind in order to gain perspective. What were we talking about the daily grind and it being so hard? Thank you, Spirit, with the confirmation. I appreciate that. Remembering that spiritual balance must come before all else. Researching and utilizing practices of mindfulness in daily life, right? We were talking about taking that time. I love this. And it came again in the future, right? Pulling back into yourself, trusting, you know, breathing, you know, taking those moments for yourself to connect. I love it. Imagery. The complex image on the card represents the pure inner power we can achieve through meditation. Inner silence releases a tremendous potential and creates space for new energy and ideas. Out of this space, our lives can gain new direction because limiting thoughts will not constrict our innate wisdom. This feels like one of two. There's here and nurturing yourself, but this feels to me that this is coming through. Let's see if I can pull this to the side. Do I have space? This feels like it's coming through, I would say right here for like this card for the Wheel of Fortune. So like as things happen, you know, you're gaining new direction, right? As you're navigating life, if you connect and reflect, right, this is going to help you with the navigating of what's coming and the future as things change. You're being invited into that meditation, into that reflection, up to that connection, so that you know and you can trust as you flow through and you get guidance. I love it. Thank you, Spirit. Deeper meanings. There are times during which we must pull back for a little while and allow ourselves to go within. Sometimes we must simply cut ourselves a break. And I kind of want to say too, to that first card, right? The sunflower here looked a little like it needed some water, it needed some sunlight. So maybe those are the little moments of the nurturing of yourself, right? You've built this, but then you're coming back, you're being invited to your authentic self. But in doing so, make sure that you are taking time for you, that you are nurturing the little things, you know, like those are little moments of savoring a strawberry, of watering some plants, of breathing fresh air, of taking a break, of journaling, you know, however it is you want to do that, like you're being invited back into that to connect back to yourself so that you can live in authenticity and nurturing and love and calling your power back, right? You've put so much into this world. Pull back into yourself. Pull back into yourself. Connect. Meditation has a different meaning to everyone. All cultures and spiritual paths embrace some type of meditation and reflection to connect the individual with the divine. There are innumerable methods of meditation. It does not merely involve sitting in silence, although it certainly can. Because everyone is wired differently, what works best for one empath may not work best for another, right? And that's okay. As empaths, seeking the spiritual core within ourselves can aid in our emotional and psychological balance, especially when the going gets tough. When the mind is overwhelmed, a little break can go a long way, right? As those cycles change, as things happen, breathe, connect, you know? Indeed, meditation is much healthier response than engaging in excessive drinking, bad habits, right? Mindfulness is a concept that every empath should research. And this card, I don't want to say bad habits. I think anything in excess is bad. I don't think there's anything. Okay, I'm going to take that back. There are some things that are just wrong. Right? There's certain things we shouldn't do, like harm innocent and all those things. What I'm trying to say is like, you know, with the things that people consider vices, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. With the things that people consider vices, just be mindful of things in moderation. So I don't want to call it bad. I'm just saying here, engaging in excessive, whatever it may be, is probably not the healthiest way to wind yourself down and reconnect. So it's inviting you to take a healthier route, which is meditating and doing that and connecting and getting used to, you know, centering back to self to get into that healthier rhythm and that trust that everything's okay, you know. Mindfulness is a concept that every empath should research, and this card encourages you to do so. When we take a step back from the emotions that all too often seem to control us, we can become more full as human beings, and we can more easily navigate the lessons we inevitably experience in life. Beautiful. Yep, navigating right here. Yep, 100% this card's for this. Thank you, Spirit, for that confirmation. Actually, I'm going to try to move it over like this. I feel like that looks the best. Okay. Suggestions for action. Take what resonates, leave the rest. You have the ultimate power, so you choose to do what you want, okay? This is just a suggestion. You have the own power. Lead from your heart. Do or don't, okay? Because the practice of meditation can take so many forms, it's essential to research different practices. Beyond that, it's wise to experiment by putting them into action, whether it's 5 minutes of visualization in the morning or an hour of breath work in the evening, right? Meditation and reflection have limitless manifestations. While planning personal time, it's worth noting that within the religions and philosophies rooted in ancient India, Hinduism, Sikhism, Buddhism, Jainism, I hope I said that right, etc., meditation and yoga are inseparable. In fact, they are synonymous. All meditation is yoga, and all yoga is meditation. For those who don't like sitting still, a mindful walking meditation may resonate well. Simply take a walk outside and slowly experience what the world has to offer. While walking, become aware of yourself walking. Become aware of the sensory experience. In order to cultivate mindfulness, you may wish to bring the experience to your mind by thinking words that apply to what you're experiencing. For example, walking, smelling, looking, mountain, grass, raindrop, and so on. This technique of walking meditation is utilized in many schools of Eastern thought and within other philosophies that encourage a person to become an observer rather than merely an experiencer. And this feels 100% like Spirit is saying, as the things change, pull back in. You're being invited to pull back in, to be mindful, to meditate, to connect, to trust, to create that balance and that harmony as you flow through. Like, okay, this is happening. That's okay. This is where I am within this, and I can still myself, and I can breathe, and I can flow. And this thing is going to pass because the cycles change, and it's okay. And I've called my power back into myself, and I'm nurturing and I'm loving myself, and I'm enjoying what I've built. And I'm okay with as things come and flow because I can navigate this. I can navigate this. You know, it's just like when you get into a rhythm of things, you learn to do something so well. You know, for those people that learn to put their, hands on the keys and they can type without looking at their fingers, it's become a natural rhythm. It's become a habit. It's become instinctual, right? That's that same thing. Okay, so trusting that you have the instincts to navigate. And when things feel overwhelming, connecting in, pulling your power back into you, not releasing it to fear, not releasing it to what's happening outside of yourself. Nope, pull your power back in, calm yourself, focus yourself, and you'll be able to flow through the rhythms that happen in the future. So this is beautiful. This is like beautiful, nice, solid advice that Spirit's bringing through. It's a nice, loving message. I hope you enjoy. I am available for readings if you so want. Please check out my links afterwards. And I thank you all for being here, just supporting, thumbsing it up. If you subscribe, you'll get notifications when I'm live. So you can see the next reading, and I just appreciate your being here. So thank you. I send you lots of light. I wish you the best. I know you'll be fine. The universe has got you, and this is beautiful. Just trust. Pull your power back in and trust that you've got this and you can navigate this. And stop and smell the roses. Stop and savor the things. Enjoy your life. Get some you time. Meditate. And then you can flow through life with a bit more, ease. Nothing's going to be perfect, but it'll get easier. Yeah. So wishing the best, and I hope to see you all next week. Thanks again for being here. Bye.